If you are thinking of posting a rage video, something that bothers you, you want to voice your opinion, you want to threaten violence, you want to warn people of something you may or may not do, well, my advice to you is you better not do it. And I'm going to tell you why. Social media platforms have given so many people the illusion that you can do pretty much anything you want. You can post or say anything you want. And people are taking them up on that. TikTok is probably the worst offender. But what you don't realize is if you make a video on TikTok, most likely it will be downloaded and reshared on all the other social media platforms. And what happens when you do that? Well, when you post it, they already have a record of your IP address, your device IDs, and your login history. They already know who you are. They know every post you've made. You're not hard to find. Now, if you don't say anything that's too terribly wrong, it just usually goes on. Nobody says anything. Nobody usually reports those. But if you threaten violence or you threaten crime, that you're going to commit a crime, that opens some eyes. You are now in this folder where they weren't really paying any attention to anything you did, and you've moved yourself into the next folder where you will probably be monitored. Now, the algorithm will screen you for certain keywords, certain phrases, for everything that you do. And when you get enough of those accumulated, you go to the folder where the human eyes are now on you. This could be any of the agencies that watch over our country and do all the secret things that we don't know about. But you are being watched if you keep doing these threatening videos. Now, there has been an uptick in these in the last week, mostly related to EBT cards getting shut down. And mostly you see black females doing this. They've got their bonnet things on. Looks like I took my, Fruit of the Loom underwear and strapped it over my head and threw it back there. That's what they look like. That's what them things look like. They got their big eyelashes and, doing that. Well, they're threatening to go in and steal things and violence. They have just opened themselves up to investigation without even knowing. Maybe they don't care. There has been a mentality that now you can do whatever you want with no consequences. And in some cities, there are no consequences. You get away with it. I would assume that most of the people posting these kind of videos are in those cities and think that way. But they are being watched, probably on a federal level, which is a whole different ballgame. Now, say you make one of these rage videos and you decide, well, I shouldn't have done that because now it's getting a ton of views, which is probably why most of them are doing these. Most of them probably don't even mean what they're saying. They're doing it for attention. They're doing it for views. They're getting them. And so what happens, anytime you post a video, it can be downloaded. It can be screenshotted. So even if you delete it, there's still a permanent record on the internet. And nothing ever goes away on the internet. Have you ever tried to delete Facebook? You can't do it, man. You can't delete that damn Facebook. I'm telling you right now, I tried. You come back a year later, okay, I want to start a new Facebook. Bam, it already knows you. Your stuff's still there. But how's it still there? I deleted that a year ago. No, no such thing. Same with all of them. You cannot delete that stuff. It is a permanent record. So you get on, you make a rage video, and you say certain keywords, and I'm not even going to mention them, but anything to do with violence or criminal activity, those are the keywords. Whenever you mention them, that alerts whoever's watching. So now you are being watched, everything you post, everything. I mean, the videos I do, voicing my opinions, trust me, they're watching me, because I get certain videos that YouTube just will not share. It's not that it wasn't a good video, it's that it was a controversial subject. And some people's feelings might get hurt, because I don't care. People's feelings get hurt. Although I try to be respectful. Okay, I may mention you're black or you're brown or you're Chinese, but I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm simply stating factual things I see. And if people don't like it, I could care less. But that is a whole different story than posting threatening content. I don't do that. I never would do that. I'm not a moron. Some of these people are true morons. They don't realize the workings of the internet and how it works. They have no clue. They have no technical knowledge. They just get on there and they think they're on their phone. They might be riding down the street. Ain't nobody going to find me here. And say a message. Not even realize most of that's registered in your real name. And you have your address. Probably your bank account information on a lot of those things. They know where you are. Have you ever seen when somebody commits a crime and it's a big one and it makes the news? They always find that person. Doesn't matter if nobody saw it or not. They always find it. Law enforcement is very good at finding people and finding the guilty parties. And don't think for a minute they won't find you. So be careful what you say. And you cannot say it was a joke. I didn't mean it. It doesn't work that way. How many crimes have happened, especially these mass shootings, where they go back and they're looking at these social media pages of this person, and all the signs were right there, but nobody saw it. There's not a lot they can do, because the crime, when they posted that, had not been committed yet. But nobody said anything. Nobody reported it. It was just somebody venting. But almost every time, the first thing you see is they'll block that person's Facebook account. But people get in there before that happens, and they'll see these things and screenshot them. And so it's permanent record then. They can't hide something somebody screenshotted and shared. And once you share it enough, it's out there. So you make a rage video, people are getting a kick out of that, right? Oh, I love it. This person's saying what they're going to do. Yeah. They download that. They share it on their social media. Now you can never delete that, because it's out of your control. And that gets shared, and that gets shared, and before you know it, the video's blowing up. It's out of control. And all you had to do was not make the video, but you did it. You could not resist running your big mouth. That's how it works, man. I told this story, I think, in one other video, but this happened in the 70s. My grandmother was flying into where I lived in Oklahoma, but she didn't show up. There was no grandma when we went to pick her up. She had made a joke, I think somewhere in Chicago at the airport, that she had a bomb in her carry-on bag. You don't do such things, okay? They take those things serious. Same thing with these type of videos. They have to take things like that serious. You may not hear anything about it, but they're watching you. They're checking everything out about you. They're going back in all the posts that you've made in the past, anything they can find, and they are trying to tie you to anything that could have happened where you had made a threat. So think again before you make these kind of posts. It's just not smart, man. It's not smart. I mean, the type of videos I do, I take enough chance. I say, like I said, I got videos that they won't share. When I say that they're not sharing a video, what I mean is when I post a video, I know pretty much right off the bat if it's going to do any good or not. But they only will put, if it's one that goes against the grain of the people, or it might upset somebody, YouTube algorithm picks that up and they're not sharing it out. Even if you've clicked the notifications on my channel, they only put that out to a limited amount of people, probably to satisfy me. And the rest of you don't get to see it. And that is why I know they screen a lot of these. And if it doesn't do good in the first hour, it's gonna be a flop video. I get a lot of them. And then I get a lot of videos that boom, as minute you post them, they start getting a lot of views. Those are the ones where I guess I've been behaving. And I behaved myself and I didn't say anything that would upset people. They let those go through. So yes, there is a lot of control on what you post, on what they will let you see. These shorts that people, these rage videos, I think, I have no idea why they don't screen these things. I don't know if it should go through the same process, but I think TikTok pretty much is a free-for-all. You can post anything you want, and once it's posted on there, then it can be reshared on all the other platforms, and that's how it gets around. You've seen all these reaction channels where they react to people's videos. Well, you're a prime candidate if you make a rage video, and they know this. And I think a lot of these women that are making these, and it ain't just women, there's men doing it, they know it'll get a lot of views. And so they're hoping it'll blow up their channel. Well, let me tell you, that is not the way you want your channel to be blown up, because you're going to get more people watching than you bargained for. The wrong people watching. And that you do not want. You're always going to have idiots in society. And you're always going to have idiots on social media. I'm one of them. But be a smart idiot. Okay, don't post criminal intent. Don't post violent intentions, and you'll be fine. You can pretty much say what you want. I mean, I don't use bad language. I don't try to do any kind of violent type of video or promote any violence. But there are people that get offended by my type of content. Do I care? Hell no. I don't care. I like offending people sometimes. If it's the wrong people, I like to offend them. People need to be offended. If we didn't get offended, life would be boring, wouldn't it? I will say not a lot offends me, because I just don't allow that in my life. But there are people that do get offended. I don't mean anybody any harm. I don't mean to downgrade anybody, although I do sometimes if you're doing wrong, like making rage videos. But it's life, man. And the way, I've always lived, suck it up, buttercup. What don't hurt you or what don't kill you only make you stronger. And we have a problem with that today, because people like to get offended by everything. Everything. Well, if you get offended by everything, you're probably a weak person. Very weak. You're probably hiding in your little bedroom half of the day. Now, people that don't get offended, they're going to be out conquering the world. That's just the way it is. But don't make rage videos. Think before you do these things. Yes, I'll make some. I made a sling blade short, kind of making fun of it, the EBT situation, but that was funny. That wasn't making fun of nothing. All right, then. They gonna cut off my food stamps. My belly's hungry. I'm gonna open up some whoop ass. Thanks for watching. Happy trails. All right, then.